Hello everybody, I'm Edith.
And I'm Jessica.
And this is Miss Hilgert. So, why did you become a sports?
Well, I've always liked doing sports myself, and I also liked working with children, and I thought of how to combine those two things, and so I decided to become a sports teacher.
Okay. For how many years are you working as a sports teacher?
I've been working as a teacher for 5.5 years now.
How many sports lessons do you have in a week?
Well, all in all, there are 11 lessons.
Okay.
And how many classes do you have?
I've got 2 regular classes, then a mixed course and an additional course in the afternoon.
And which grades are they?
There is the second grade, 3rd grade and 4th grade. And the additional course is from the first.
Okay. And which kind of sports do you practice in the lessons?
Well, generally we try to cover all fields of sports. So we go swimming, for example, we do gymnastics, different ball games. In summer also athletics, we go outside and use our outdoor facilities. So I think there is hardly any sports we don't do.
Okay. Which sports are the most popular with the students?
I would say it depends on the classes, of course, but in most cases ball games, like football, volleyball, handball, basketball.
And do you teach any theory during your lessons?
Well, we are talking about rules sometimes, especially in the games. The students have to be familiar with the rules. Sometimes I tell them something about sports stars, but only very rarely. So I would say the focus is on the practical training.
Okay. Could you tell the people which facilities we have in school?
Yeah, we are very lucky here. We've got several outdoor and indoor facilities. We've got 5 different gyms with a lot of equipment. And as I said, also outdoor facilities where we can go whenever the weather allows it.
Yes, the government wants a daily sports lesson. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea because especially the younger children, they really need sports lessons or just any opportunity to exercise and to move, to run, to get rid of their energy. So I think that's a very good idea.
Okay. How do you stay fit?
Well, it depends on the time I've got and the free time I have, but I try to go jogging several times a week. I also sometimes do different dance lessons or aerobics, things like that. But of course it depends on the time. In winter I go skiing. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks for the interview.
You're welcome.
Klar.
Hi, I am Kerem. I am 11th grade student at Zeytinburnu İmam Hatip High School. I want to have an interview with our physical education teacher, Mr. Arda Çaylı, about sports. Hi, Mr. Çaylı.
Hi.
Firstly, thank you for giving us this chance. And could you please talk about yourself a little bit?
I am 32 years old and I have been teaching 8 years and working in a school for 3 years. I played volleyball professionally about 10 years.
About 10 years. Wow. I want to ask, why you choose this job?
I started playing volleyball at 14 and I was a professional volleyball player when I was 17. I wanted to be a physical education teacher or a trainer in the future because I thought that it was a good chance for both doing sports and maintaining my education moreover.
Oh, so good. Could you please tell us about the lessons hours and topics in the curriculum?
Lesson hours are 2 for primary school and 1 hours for high school per week. At lessons, team sports are handled and played The students are also informed about nutrition and healthier lifestyles.
Oh, thank you. And what other activities are carried out at lessons?
Turkey is the unique country which has youth and sport festival. It is celebrated on the 19th of May every year. The festival is celebrated so seriously that thousands of students take part in all around Turkey. These students are prepared for the shows to be done on the festival day. Moreover, we have schools teams in a few sports branches. They get trained regularly and take part in the competitions both in the city and countryside.
Thank you again. And what is the role of the state or local governors for supporting sports?
Unfortunately, the sports of the state is not enough, but in Istanbul, local governors they are best in this area. For example, the governors of Istanbul built a sports hall in our school garden, and they also take care of it.
Finally, what is the importance of the presence of the physical education lessons in curriculum?
Physical education lessons are important for students' physical development. Unfortunately, in our country, the lesson hours are not enough. Moreover, the determination of the talented students is very important because the number of licensed athletes in Turkey are very few. At lesson, we can easily identify the talented students through testing, and we direct them to sports clubs.
Oh, thank you again for this chance.
Yeah, welcome.
Mr. Adil.
Yeah, welcome, Kerem.
Hello, here we are, Spanish team with our physical education teacher. Welcome, I'm Alba Pardo. Lucía Rada.
Santa García. Andrea Barreto.
And he's our teacher, Marcos. So, what did you study to be a physical education teacher?
Okay, you have to study a 5 years career called INEF. I finished this career in 1999. Access to this career is like any other Spanish university career. First, you have to finish high school and do the entrance exam to college. Then, all the students choose what they want to study, but in this career, you must first make a mandatory physical test. If you don't pass them, you can't do these studies. Otherwise, all the studies can choose the career according to their average marks.
What do you have to do to be a teacher at this school?
To teach in a secondary school in Spain, you must pass a special exam. In my case, I passed the exam in another community, and there I taught for 10 years until I got enough credit to be moved to this school, which is near my family.
What do students need to learn in physical education classes?
The contents taught at physical education are marked by the educational laws of the moment. These classes are mainly practical because physical exercise is beneficial to health and harmonious development of the student. There are currently 5 things. First, fitness health-oriented exercise, where students are recommended to practice physical exercise for their health, feeding, injury prevention, etc. Secondly, sports, such as individual sport like athletics, gymnastics, swimming, cycling, etc. Implement sport like badminton, tennis, paddles, and others. Team sports like basketball, football, rugby, handball, etc. Combat sport like martial arts. And the last one, alternative sport like ultimate, korfball, yaka, etc. Thirdly, activities in the natural environment, sport that take place in contact with the nature, such as trekking, canoeing, orienting, ski, etc. Once per year, students are normally taken out to practice this sport. Fourth, the body language. The aim is to express feelings through body and movement. And fifth, traditional games and sport. Here, students learn about games passed on from the grandparents, and this is important to keep them for future generations.
Do you practice any sport in your spare time?
Of course, now I go to the gym 4 times a week and do spinning, pilates and weight training. Also, once a week I play football with a team in a local league in my town, and from time to time I practice ski and scuba diving.
How old were you when you started playing sports?
I don't remember exactly. Since I was young, I used to go to the swimming pool 7 times a week. When I was at high school, I joined the basketball team, and then I started doing athletics, a sport that I have practiced the most. And many of my best friends are people I meet coaching the sports.
When you were young, did you know exactly what you wanted to do?
No. I even started another career, business studies, but now I'm sure I choose well. I like working with people more than sitting behind a desk with a computer.
What sport are most practiced in Spain?
Currently in Spain, the most popular sports are targeted in the maintenance of the health. Secondly, sports with football in the lead are closely followed by swimming and cycling.
What sport would you recommend for the elderly and young people?
Young people should practice the sport they like, always respecting the rules of the game, teammates and opponents. As we age, we can't do the same things and with the same intensity because it increases the risk of injury from impact or wear. Generally speaking, sport and activities of low articular impact are recommended. For example, that include very few jumps with no hard movement and of moderate intensity to help the cardiovascular system, like fitness, walking, swimming, elliptical machine, pilates, routine, spinning.
What traditional sports are practiced in Spain?
Each part of Spain has its own traditional games. These games are the handkerchief, skipping marbles, spinning top, blind man's buff, bowling, rope pulls, bar lounge, throwing beret, and many others.
So this is all. Thank you for watching and we'll see you in Turkey.
How do you encourage students to take part in your lessons?
Well, we have very well equipment sport gym. As you can see, it's really professional. Our students can take part in different activities such as volleyball, basketball, football or handball, which is very popular nowadays in Poland. They also can take part in aerobic exercises or do gymnastics or do exercises on gymnastics ball. Our students can decide which activities to choose.
Okay, do you organize sports competition?
Yes, we organize sport competitions and we did in contests which are organized by other schools. As a teacher, I can say that students compete with each other.
How many hours of physical education have students during the week?
Each group, maximum 25 persons in group, has 3 hours of physical education per week. In my opinion, it isn't enough, but if they want, they can to edit some extra classes which are organized by teachers. The most popular in our schools is aerobic exercises and volleyball.
Okay, thank you very much.
I'm Alessio.
Hi, I'm Rita.
And now we are visiting our beautiful gym. This is our school playground because there we play a lot of sports, but isn't completed yet because there are some works in progress.
We can play a lot of sports such as volano, tennis,
It can contain a lot of students, and there our teacher organize a lot of activities. Also the sports group in the afternoon where the students can a lot of sports that they like. Now let me introduce one of the members of the staff of our school.
Hello, my name is Sandra Cei. I'm the physical education teacher at the ITA Roma Caserta.
How old are your students?
14 to 18.
And how many classes have you got?
9.
What sport activities do your children do at school?
Keep fit exercise, volley, basket and badminton.
Are your students boys or girls?
Boys and girls.
What facilities does your school offer?
A well-equipped gym and a few playgrounds.
And how long have you been a PE teacher?
20 years.
What are the main aspects of a PE curriculum in your class?
Physical exercise, sports, some aspects of anatomy and biology, eating habits and human body.
Do you practice any sport?
I do keep fit exercise every day, and I work with students, my students in the school.
Practice any sport?
Yes, I used to be a basket player.
When did you stop this activity?
In my 20s. Bye bye from Caserta.
Bye.
Sorry for my English.
Hello, mister. I would like to make you some questions about the subject of physical education in Greece. First of all, what is the curriculum for the subject of physical education?
Well, the subject of physical education in Greece is taught 2 hours for the week for the first and second grade of high school, and only 1 hour per week for the seniors. A typical daily plan consists of, the truth is, because of the lack of the time, of a short warm-up, followed by some track drills and mainly team sports, such as volleyball, basketball and maybe football.
Secondly, I would like to ask, what is the aim of teaching physical education in Greece?
Okay, the main purpose of physical education is physical exercise itself in order to keep students fit and healthy. The second aim of physical education is their development socially and emotionally through their participation in mainly team sports, but also in individual ones. The third, students are expected by the end of their school career to be familiar with the basic knowledge about the sports, and we mean about the technique, about the rules, and about the main structure. And finally, we expect students to have long life training habits, because as our Greek ancient ancestors said, a healthy mind in a healthy body.
What facilities are available for the lesson of physical education?
Well, the facilities differs from school to school. For the majority of schools, there are outdoor courts for basketball and volleyball, but in some cases there are also indoor gyms, including basketball and volleyball courts, and for some cases including table tennis. Our school, the 4th High School of Volos, has the benefit of using such facilities, but the main problem is that we have to share them with the 4th Junior High School, and which is in the same building, and sometimes this creates problems.
Yes. What is the degree of state support for the subject of physical education?
Well, due to the financial crisis, there was a very big reduction in financial support given by the state, which leads to inappropriate sport equipment and to insufficient funding for sports events to take place. We're only counting on parents' associations funding, which you understand it's not enough. Well, more money should be given by the state for the appropriate teaching of physical education.
So, are the students involved in school championships?
Yes, of course. And there are different kinds of school championships depending on the sport. The main structure of school championship consists of 3 rounds. The first is the local one, the second is the region championship, and then is the finals, we would say in a Panhellenic level.
Yes.
Well, our school, the 4th High School, has won several times the local championships, and especially the girls volleyball team has won the region championship 3 years ago. And the biggest success for our school was some years ago, where the basketball team of boys was second in the finals and won the silver medal.
Yes. The subject of physical education being improved?
Well, first of all, more hours should be devoted to the physical education. Let's say we could use 4 hours per week, divided into 2 sessions of 2 hours each. The second, because of the lack of space and the lack of basic equipment, we could use the nearest training centers. The training centers, I mean the municipal training centers, which are fully equipped concerning courts, concerning track fields, gyms, and especially locker rooms. The third idea would be the separation in practice for girls and boys. The girls should practice with a woman teacher of physical education, and the boys should practice with a man teacher of physical education. That would give the opportunity, especially for girls, to take part in other activities such as gymnastics, calisthenics, and especially dances.
Yes.
Dances, and I mean both competitive and traditional. exercise in school, so as parents wouldn't be enforced to pay extra money for extra practice of sports.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Lara.
And I'm Marina.
Today we're gonna have an interview with our sports teacher, Mr. Lederer.
Okay, our first question. Why did you become a sports teacher?
Well, I'm afraid I'm going to answer this question just the way every teacher would. I like to play with students. I like to work with young students, with young adults, and I love doing sports myself. So I try to combine these two things in working with students in doing sports.
For how many years are you working as a sports teacher now?
This is my 6th year now, so I've been working for 5 years as a teacher.
How many sports lessons do you have in a week?
This year I'm teaching 17 lessons in total, 13 regular lessons plus 4 in additional afternoon courses.
And how many classes do you have?
That's five regular classes plus 2 additional courses.
And can you tell us which grades are they?
My classes are 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 6th and 8th grade.
Which kind of sports do you practice in your lessons?
I try to keep my lessons as manifold as possible. I try to do as many sports and many different sports and movements as possible. That starts from traditional sports such as athletics, ball games and gymnastics, and ends with new games such as free running, ultimate frisbee, alternative things like juggling. So I try to give my students a huge variety.
Which sports are the most popular with the students?
Well, it's very difficult to answer because it depends on the classes, of course, depends on the students. But I think that the younger ones are into everything that you offer them. They can be motivated for like almost everything. But ball games are always very popular with the boys, especially football, of course.
Do you teach any theory during the sports lessons?
Always. The older the students get, the more emphasis I put on teaching theory behind what we do and why we do certain things. For example, I try to explain how we warm up and why we do certain exercises for warming up, and the older the students get, I try to explain and make them know why we do certain exercises and what effects they have within the body.
Which facilities do we have in school, and do you think it's enough?
Well, I think that our school is very privileged when it comes to our facilities. We have 5 very well equipped gyms. We have a large outside area for track and fields and for all sorts of athletic activities. And we are very close by the indoor pool for our swimming lessons. So our facilities are fantastic and they're definitely enough, yeah.
According to recent discussions, the government wants a daily sport lesson. What do you think about that?
Well, I support this idea, of course. It's a fantastic idea. I'm only very skeptic if this idea can be made reality, because one more lesson for the student means you have to take this one lesson off the other subject, and I'm very skeptic if this is a thing that can be put into a political reality. But I support the idea. The more sports, the more people exercise, the more students exercise, the better it will be.
And our last question, what do you do to stay fit?
Well, personally, I do a lot of endurance sports. I love cycling, I love jogging and running. In the winter, I'm in the mountains for skiing. And of course, I have almost 20 lessons to exercise with my students.
Thank you for the interview.
You're welcome.